yeah, so how much the team has grown by ever since you were there? Like how many team members were there and how much are there now?
Um, I don't know that number off the top of my head.
Okay,
Um,
okay. Hmm.
so I would, do you want like concrete numbers? I can send you a follow-up
Oh, it
email,
could be, yeah, that could be helpful as well. Otherwise, if you could just give me,
give you an
I
idea.
would say a tentative percentage, yeah, or
Um,
yeah,
I would say minimum, I've hired about 35 people for my area from when
nice.
I started taking over where I currently am until now.
Okay, great. Okay, so apart from the recruitment drive and the internal open house, so did you use some online tools as well to hire people?
I currently use Indeed to look for
Mm-hmm.
candidates. We also use
Okay,
HireVue.
okay,
We also use Facebook as a source
okay,
to leverage to look for different candidates in different pools.
okay,
And we
nice,
also have an employee referral program that's worked out very well. So that's
nice.
something company wide that we do, and it has
Mhm.
a initiative for them to earn money through the referral program.
Yeah. So for that referral program, was that already there when you joined?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
I mean,
great.
it's something newer that the company rolled out, but definitely we leverage that, and we have
Yeah.
little competitions within the teams to see who can bring in the most people, and then they win prizes. So that's something that my region does differently in order
Okay,
to create engagement and utilize the bonuses that are available to our people.
great. And so, how do you ensure that the candidates that are being hired are of the higher quality? Like, are there any specific strategies in place to assess their qualities, or any
Yes.
additional
So
interviews or tests? Yeah.
we do a three interview process.
Mm-hmm.
So what that looks like is the manager that meets the candidate will perform one interview. And
Mm-hmm.
if they like the candidate, they send them to another manager from a different store to cross
Mm-hmm.
reference. And then I'm the final gate. So I personally meet and okay every single hire on my team to do the
Okay.
final assessment whether or not this candidate is going to be a fit.
Okay. Perfect. Okay. And so, yeah, so while we discussed that turnover was one issue, and then hiring more people was something that you overcame. So, what other issue was there when you joined the company?
I would say one concern that I had when I joined the area was food cost management.
Mm-hmm.
So that's actually more of an operation issue. But we
Okay.
definitely took a lot of action to address those concerns.
Okay. So, any particular example you could share with me?
Sure. So
Yeah.
one key to managing food costs is
Mm-hmm.
by actually calling the right amount of food at the right time. So
Mm-hmm.
few things that we enacted were number one, we enacted a fresh food timer that
Mm-hmm.
allows the associates to have an awareness that when our timer goes off, we check the quality of the food on the table. Therefore, if anything's not looking appetizing, we give it away rather than throwing
Mm-hmm.
it away, but we're still managing and creating awareness that, hey, we're making too much food.
Yeah.
Another aspect that I focus on is nighttime waste. So for nighttime waste, there's a few things that I do with my team. Number one, they send a picture of their table
Mm-hmm.
1 hour before their closing time for me to
Okay.
really see what the store's looking like in the store and to be able to coach them on the spot if something's not right. I also
Yeah.
at night ensure that we cook to order rather than cooking bigger batch sizes to ensure the
Okay.
quality of the food is fresh for the guests and also that
Yeah.
we're managing the waste at night.
Okay.
And through
Nice.
this, my team has been the top performing in managing their food costs, and they range within 0.5% of the variant allowance.
Okay. Okay. Great. Okay, so we can say that you optimize that food cost through these initiatives.
Yes.
Okay, great. So any other challenge that you would like to share that was there?
I think that's okay. I think that's good. I think one of the bigger parts is, the recruiting and retention is a big role that I
Yeah,
play.
exactly. Okay, okay, perfect. And facilitating train the trainer program is also something that you have mentioned. So
Yes.
is that something that we, yeah,
So part of the train the trainer is just more of I'm responsible for cascading materials to our training leaders in order for
mm-hmm.
them to cascade to their trainees. I'm also
Okay,
responsible for mentoring different facilitators so that way they
mm-hmm.
can also learn how to teach their own programs
Mm-hmm.
and how to effectively ensure that the whatever candidate is being given information is
Mm-hmm.
retaining and able to teach back.
Okay, okay,
I
great.
also support in preparing people for interviews. So, in a higher level in our company, we're required to present and also be a part of an interview for promotion.
Mm-hmm.
And I also
Okay.
help people prepare for that. So, meaning their rehearsals, meaning all of their talking points before
Mm-hmm.
they go to present, they go through me.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
And
that's
I'm the
great.
only one in the region that does that, alongside my regional director. So it's usually him and I.
Okay, that's perfect. And so since the turnover was really high, so that must have been affecting the employee morale on the whole as well.
It definitely does because it puts a strain
Mm-hmm.
on people.
Yeah,
When people have to work 6 days a week,
yeah,
open to close, it's very draining.
yeah,
And I
exactly.
do think that's definitely a challenge.
Yeah. So did you do anything in that regard to boost employee morale, or you think that, introducing all those programs, professional development and incentives was something that helped with boosting their morale?
Well, first of all, part of boosting morale that I see is ensuring that there's enough people to ensure that everyone's able to spend time with their family.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Also, to create a community within the actual team, we have
Mm-hmm.
monthly team bonding events where we all go to
Nice.
dinner, or we will go bowling or karaoke. We'll do something together as a community just to be able to
Okay.
spend time together and connect.
Nice. That's great. Okay, great.
We also have area meetings every
Mm-hmm.
quarter for the
Mm-hmm.
managers and assistant managers where they're able to learn new skills, be cascaded
Okay.
information, and also address any concerns that they have. So we're able
Okay.
to
Mm-hmm.
tackle their challenges together.
Okay, nice. That's great. Okay. And since you said that you do prepare the material for orientation while you are not directly managing it, but then are you a part of onboarding new team members?
No, the managers do that.
Okay. Okay, great.
I am trained in onboarding. However, that's normally delegated per manager per store level because it
Okay.
is a bit of a time constraint, and that's not
Uh-huh.
my primary focus.
Okay. Okay.
However, I don't know if it counts if I used to do that in the past.
Yeah, I think we can definitely discuss that in your previous position if it was there.
Yeah, so when I was a training leader before I was promoted to this role, I was
Okay.
I was doing that all the time.
Oh, nice. So you were promoted in this role.
Yes, ma'am. So I began in the company as a general manager, and every year
Okay.
since joining in the past 4.5 years, I've received a promotion. So I
Oh,
began as a
nice.
general manager in 2015,
Mm-hmm.
and the training took some time, so it was about a 5-month training program. And in
Okay.
September of 2017, I was promoted to a training leader. And
Nice.
in September of 2018, I was promoted to multi-unit manager.
Okay, that's great.
And
I would
and
really
in
love
the
to highlight that.
in-between
Yeah.
period, oh, okay, yeah. And in the in-between period, actually, I was only a training leader by title for 4 months before
Okay.
I took on running multiple stores. So it's called a stretch TL role. So it's kind of like a
Okay.
training role for me to take over what I currently do. And I did that for
Okay.
8 months before receiving my official title. And
That's
during that
great.
time, I actually was allowed the opportunity to support the company, and I
Mm-hmm.
supported in another region. So I actually lived in Colorado for 3 months
Uh-huh.
to train people and train managers there for the company because they were
Great.
short on training managers. So I was there for 3 months to train people.
Okay, that's amazing. Okay, that's perfect. And so anything particular from the trainer program that you would like to highlight?
So, I mean, all I can say about a training leader role is that, it requires a lot of side by side working with an individual. And
Mm-hmm.
it's a combination of hands on, hands off approach, meaning that there's a
Mm-hmm.
lot of study materials that we do teach. And also,
Mm-hmm.
we teach them the hard skills. So, every position in the store, I also must be highly skilled in being able to execute in order to teach someone else.
Yeah.
I'm very proud to say that I was definitely fast tracked through the company, and
Mm-hmm.
it's very rare to see that, especially in a company that requires so much hard skill because
Yeah,
it takes a
exactly.
lot of finesse to flip a lock.
Yeah. Okay, great. Okay, so the restaurant units you are, responsible for, can you quantify any improvement in terms of their ranking? If their ranking has improved in terms of, by having a good staff.
I'm sorry, ma'am. Do you mind repeating that? I wasn't able to hear the whole question.
Yeah, so I was saying that in terms of, you are responsible for 16 restaurant units. So since you developed team members there, so did you notice any improvement in their overall ranking in the company for those units?
Oh, yes. So currently I'm ranked 47 out of the
Mm-hmm.
entire company performance.
Okay, and so
At my region,
47. Yeah.
47th place, and there's at least like 150 people.
Okay, nice.
I don't know the exact number, and then my region itself is always top 10. So we
Okay, perfect.
contribute to that performance as well. However, one thing I did want to share with you, at the time
Uh-huh.
in which that resume was written, I was
Mm-hmm.
overseeing 16 units. However, currently I only have 8. So 16
Okay.
was the maximum I was running, but I currently have 8. So I don't want to
Okay.
falsely advertise on the
Yeah,
resume
yeah,
either.
sure. Okay, thank you for clarifying that. Okay,
No problem.
great,
So I
great.
don't know in terms of writing a resume if it's appropriate to go with the most that I've ever run or if it's appropriate to go with what I'm doing currently.
Yeah, I think, but since you have managed 16 units as well, so I think that that's something I'll definitely discuss with Fatima before mentioning it on your resume because
Okay.
yeah, it's a good question. I'll look into it
I
for
just
sure.
I want to make sure that I still maintain integrity with what I share.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Okay. Okay, and so do you have any customer service in place to just assess customer feedback on if the customer service has improved in some way?
Yeah, it's through the operation service audit. So 3 periods
Uh-huh.
running, 100% passing for the area.
Okay.
That's the most measurable way. My
Okay.
team was also the first to enact the table touch timer.
Mm-hmm.
So a table touch timer. literally what it is. It's a little timer that
Mm-hmm.
one of the front counters wear, and it beeps every
Okay.
10 minutes. And what it does is it reminds the associates to go out and connect with the guests, and they bring a
Okay.
basket with them of condiments and
Nice.
offer any extra items they would like, any bags that they need to take their orders to go. And it just allows
Mm-hmm.
them the opportunity to also learn the skill of customer service.
Yeah,
So
that's nice.
overall, guests have given a lot of positive feedback about that, and we've been able
Yeah.
to generate some extra catering sales by connecting with the right people at the right time in the schools.
Yeah. Okay, great. That's perfect. Okay. And so since when you were earlier, overseeing 16 restaurant units and now there are 8, so there must have been a change in, the average PSA of each unit as well?
No, my PSA is still pretty high. I have to look at the exact number for you. So if you'd
Mm-hmm.
like, I can do that in a follow-up email and check my most recent numbers. That way they're accurate. Um,
Sure.
and then what was I going to tell you? Oh, my unit number changed because I relocated. So originally,
Okay.
when I took over in this role, I was in Palm Springs area, and I
Okay.
supervised from Beaumont to Yucca
Mm-hmm.
Valley to Indio.
Okay.
So it's a
Okay.
pretty large span of control. And
Yeah.
then currently, I actually oversee the Temecula route. So the reason
Okay.
why I moved was because it was a little closer to home for me,
Yeah. Okay.
um, and that helped out a lot in terms of the driving for me.
Okay. Okay. Perfect. And so, are you familiar with the ATS systems, the applicant tracking systems that are in place?
The applicant systems that are in place,
Yeah, the applicant tracking systems, ATS.
I'm not. That's not something that I personally handle. That's already automated and integrated into the grand scheme of what we do.
Okay, okay, perfect. Okay. And then, so any other thing from this role of yours, any way you were able to improve towards the operational improvement, like any strategy particularly for that?
Any strategies particularly for that? I do a lot of I create a lot of tools for the managers to keep track of their finances.
Okay,
So
nice.
I do a lot more systemizing of items, meaning
Uh-huh.
I'll consolidate multiple reports onto a one place to access
Uh-huh.
everything, just to make it easier for them. I don't know how to articulate that nicely. So I'm just a person that just makes everyone's life easier. So I create a lot of the structure and the system within the stores and within the management team.
Okay, okay, perfect. So, which were some of the tools you introduced the team to?
So I didn't necessarily introduce the tool. I consolidated them, meaning that there's a lot of different
Mhm.
functions and tools that the managers use in order to
Okay.
track information. And I made a
Mhm.
one-stop spot for everything. And I
Okay.
also leveraged some technology to make it happen. So instead of, let's say having an Excel sheet for every
Uh-huh.
single item and attaching multiple reports to an email, currently they're
Yeah.
using a OneDrive and all of their reports are on one click away. So I was able to
Okay.
systemize all of that for them.
Okay. Okay. Perfect. Okay, so Victoria, so anything else from this role of yours that you think we haven't discussed so far that could be worth mentioning for the resume?
Aside from everything that we just shared, I was a high achiever for people
Mm-hmm.
development in 2016. So I won a high
Okay,
achiever
nice.
award.
Uh-huh.
I also what else have I won? I don't know if it's appropriate to share about different trainings and certifications we've received. Is that something to include on the resume?
Yeah, I think we can, since we are, trying to gear the resume towards HR role. So yeah, training is definitely there.
Okay, so I have attended the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People training.
Mm-hmm.
I've also attended Landmark, so I've completed the Landmark curriculum for living.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I've also attended Tony Robbins' Unleash the Power Within.
Okay.
I'm also bilingual, so I also speak
Mm-hmm.
Spanish. So I know that's very
Nice.
beneficial to any HR role, and I have basic reading and writing skills in Spanish as well.
Okay, nice. Great.
So that sums up me.
Okay, that's great. And so, when I say that, when you say that you are now trying to target HR related roles, so would it be something of regional HR manager, I would ask, because, since you are already involved in managing regions, so could it be a regional or district HR manager role, or would it be just an HR manager role?
It could look like that. Another thing that could look like is a field HR manager. So I know that
Mm-hmm.
different companies look for people who have service industry experience, but now need to go on the other side and manage associate relations. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
definitely open to something of that sort as well.
Okay. Okay, great.
And I also know that there are learning specialists that do help open new stores and
Mm-hmm.
train people for that. I'm also
Oh,
definitely open to doing that.
that's great. Okay. Okay. And so yeah, so one thing I would like to add is, you have mentioned about supporting the operations team. So what does your support to the operation team entail? Like, is that something we already discussed?
That is something that we already discussed. I would say in my
Mm-hmm.
growth at Panda, though, I did
Okay.
train multiple teams to be part of
Mm-hmm.
new store opening teams.
Mm-hmm.
That's something that I did. Also, I was responsible for managing the innovation kitchen for the company. So
Mm-hmm.
the innovation kitchen for the company is the test kitchen that pilots all the new items rolling out on a grander scale. So I was responsible for creating a system, operations execution, and also providing
Mm-hmm.
feedback to the different departments that were asking me to test items.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, coming from an operations standpoint, sharing with them what works and what I saw wasn't going to work before we roll out on a bigger scale. So that was one of my primary responsibilities there.
Okay. Okay, great. Okay. So can we move on to the next position then?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, perfect. And then you were the location manager at Aramark Higher Education. So again, I would like to know that what was that particular position all about as a location manager, and what were your day-to-day responsibilities there?
Sure. So as a location manager, I worked for Airmark for about almost 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
I started my journey as a manager, just as an assistant manager, and I was able to
Mm-hmm.
grow up the ranks. I
Okay.
supported opening the alumni house. So it's a
Nice.
coffee shop on campus, and I
Mm-hmm.
was the one that did all of my hiring and recruiting for that, as well as every aspect that's needed for a new store opening. I was responsible
Hmm.
for ensuring that it occurred.
Okay.
I was there for, it's been so